up, guys? It's your boy, Barça Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news. Over the past 24 hours, things are picking up around Nico Williams. Confirmed meeting took place yesterday afternoon. I have all the details of the meeting and how close Barcelona are to signing Nico Williams. It could be done in the next week, alongside some very positive reports about the midfield reinforcement. Mikel Merino still being the #1 option, with Barcelona planning to include one of their center backs in the operation, as Real Sociedad are looking for center back in the market. Iñigo Martínez, García, and Faye's names are on the table to make the Mikel Merino operation even cheaper than it already is. But also in regards to defenders, the club are still looking at Jeremie Frimpong. Apparently his agent still in constant contact with Barcelona, still pushing for the move. Hansi Flick still very keen on the fullback. Right now he's not a priority for Barcelona whatsoever, but again, the contacts still remain. We have some updates on big renewal updates, by the way, on the renewals of the Fernandez cousins, Tony and Gilly. Big updates in regards to the kit. The club now have given us a whole 360, and now they will be developing 2 versions of the home kit, which probably, as of recording this video, as of uploading this video, the kit has probably been announced. Also have some big updates on the Lamine selecting his first team numbers and the 3 reasons why that could be beneficial and also a disadvantage. We have some updates as well around the Espai Barca project, and finally reports about when the first team players that participated in the Euro and Copa America, when they will return to Barcelona, and who will be on the American tour and who will not be. One big name is very much missing from the USA tour. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 24 hours. Again, the usual, since for the past 2 months now, the first topic we will discuss is around Nico Williams, and there is advancements. A lot of you guys coming at me in the comments, oh, Barca boy, you're saying the same stuff. Well, I'm not. There are minor updates, that's why I bring them up, but now we got completely different updates, and also, of course, mainly in the positive direction. We always knew that this week was going to be a big week for Nico Williams, and it has been turning out to be so. Firstly, Alex Pentel of Verlivo, he's the only one and the first one who came out saying this yesterday afternoon. Barcelona themselves suggest that the agreement with Nico Williams is closed. Barcelona consider his arrival to be certain as long as they resolve the FFP situation. Barcelona's idea is to close the operation before Nico joins pre-season with Atletic club. Atletic will not negotiate the €58 million release clause, and thus Barcelona need to return to the 1-1 rule before activating that release clause. So he's saying personal terms are 100% agreed. Everything will happen. This transfer will happen once Barcelona officially announced that they have returned to the 1-1 rule. Now, following this, Sociedad Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Nico Williams only wants to move to Barcelona if he is to leave Athletic Club this summer. That's pretty standard. Now, this of course came out yesterday afternoon. Yesterday late in the evening, a lot of journalists came out saying the same thing about Nico Williams, and that is there was in fact a meeting, and the news broke from Gerard Romero of Gigantes. He's bringing back the Ascendo Tocantes. Things are happening, and he's living life in this transfer window. He came out saying that Joan Laporta has tasked Deco to finalize the signing of Nico Williams as soon as possible. There was a meeting in Zaragoza between Nico's camp and Deco yesterday to agree on personal terms for his contract at Barcelona. The dream of Nico Williams playing for Barcelona is closer to becoming a reality than ever before. Barcelona and La Liga have been working with drafts on possible contracts for Nico Williams' contract for weeks now. So he's saying, look, there was a meeting yesterday, agreement is now closer, nothing done. Of course, Alex Pentel is saying the personal terms are done. He's saying it's not done, but it's very close, and everything is heading into the right direction. Victor Navarro of Cope, the one who's always out there in hotels trying to find everyone, he came out saying the hotel in which the meeting between Nico Williams' camp and Deco took place have confirmed there was indeed a meeting in one of the reserved rooms. So in hotels how they have kind of conference rooms. Essentially, the hotel told Victor Navarro that yes, they did reserve a conference room to have a meeting. What they talked about, what they did, they don't know, but there was in fact a meeting today. Following this, Tony Juan Martin came out saying that Barcelona are going all out to sign Nico Williams as they face fierce competition, hot days ahead. Finally, Fabrizio Romano came out saying that Barcelona have made their offer to Nico Williams during a meeting between his agent and Deco in Zaragoza yesterday. So there was a meeting yesterday with his agent that is now 100% confirmed by multiple sources. Some sources saying the personal terms are basically done, some saying they are done fully, but again, we are edging closer and closer. What I tell you guys in the first video this week on Monday, we need to get personal terms agreed this week and then transfer next week. That's all you ask for. So now you have Thursday, of course, today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, fine-tune those personal terms, and then of course go at Athletic Club and try and see if you can reach an agreement, whether you have to activate the release clause or pay a bit more installments, whatever the case may be. Now finally on Nico Williams, there has been a quote coming in from Lothar Matthäus. I don't know his relationship with Hansi Flick. Of course, when Hansi Flick was the Germany and Bayern Munich coach, where Matthäus is an absolute legend for both sides. He came out, he was asked about Nico Williams and how Hansi Flick wants him. He said that, look, I hope that Barcelona ends up signing him. My friend Hansi Flick dreams of Nico Williams. His release clause is only 60 million euros, but his value right now is already above 100 million euros, and he is a fantastic player. So I don't know what Hansi Flick tells Lothar Matthäus. I don't know if they have a great relationship, bad relationship. I don't know if they work together at Bayern Munich, but he's saying that Hansi Flick told him that he dreams of Nico Williams. So there you go. We'll wait and see how things turn out over the next few days, but again, it is intensifying. Look, I told you guys this 2 weeks ago, and I'll say it again. I've already come to terms that we're going to sign Nico Williams. It's just about when and how the procedure goes, and also the timing of it as well. I'm already convinced at this point we are going to end up signing Nico Williams. Again, he will be a world-class signing for the Blaugrana side. Just now down to when this happens, how, and also the timing of it. Now, in my opinion, the biggest news over the past 24 hours has been a report about Barcelona planning to sign Mikel Merino this summer. Finally, some concrete reports about a midfield reinforcement. Also, by the way, before I forget, apparently there's been a lot of talk about Dani Olmo, about how Barcelona want to sign him as well. We'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. I don't think there's too much in it because, again, his release clause is going to be expiring. But, there's some reports about that. We'll see how that happens. But the main midfield signing for Barcelona right now, the number one target is Mikel Merino. Tony Juan Martin came out with a very extensive and interesting report on the current situation of signing a midfielder, and he came out saying that a Barcelona center back could be included in a possible deal for Mikel Merino. Real Sociedad are looking for a new center back after selling Robin Lindamard to Atletico Madrid. Except for a surprise, Merino will leave Real Sociedad this summer somewhere. Lenglet, Eric Garcia, Iñigo Martínez, and Faye are options depending on what La Real require. The problem with Lenglet is that he has a high salary, and the other three don't really have their futures clear right now. Barcelona, Pablo Torre could be another option that could be included in this deal, but again, the club do prefer to include one of those four center backs, including a player would make the fixed price for Merino valued at least 25 million euros cheaper. Now remember, Tony Juan Martin himself came out a month ago saying that Barcelona want to spend around 25 million euros plus some add-ons to sign Mikel Merino. So if you include a player, you're basically getting rid of the fixed fee. Merino's entourage knows about Barcelona's interest, and there is no formal offer yet. Arsenal and Atletico Madrid also want him. He has just started his vacation, and everything indicates that his future will be resolved towards the end of the transfer window. When Barcelona resolve the situation with the left wing, Nico Williams, Dani Olmo, whoever the case may be, they will then focus on signing a midfielder. This is absolute music to my ears. Now, firstly, let's talk about Merino. Again, the profile fits with exactly what we want in a double pivot and what Hansi Flick wants to run in that system. Yes, he's not a pivot whatsoever. He's kind of a box-to-box, I would say, but again, it's that profile we do need. Someone with experience, can speak the language, of course, integrate with the squad very, very well, and come in straight away and do a job. Especially at his age, you're getting a solid, 3, 4, 5 years out of him. He's definitely more so of a medium-term signing than he is long-term for sure. But this is a quality player that can definitely bolster that midfield. Now, with this being resolved at the end of the transfer window, makes sense, kind of sucks though. I think what the plan for Barcelona is sign Nico Williams, do some sales, and then go for Merino. That's how I think the club will do it. So sign Nico Williams, maybe get rid of players like, Lenglet, one of the center backs, Romeu, whoever the case may be, and then go for a midfielder, which hopefully they can kind of balance those two areas together. As long as Merino is in before the start of La Liga, I'll take it, but I think at this rate it's going to be difficult, but we'll wait and see. But let's talk about the big part here, including a player. I absolutely love it for two reasons. One, firstly, you don't waste your time, and secondly, you make, good use of your squad. So including a player like Lenglet, Eric Garcia, Iñigo, Faye, who, again, out of these 4, 2 of them will have to leave. One of them now can stay with Adho being out for the first half of the season. So you're going to have, Christensen, Kubarsi, Koundé as your options at center back. Of course, Koundé, dancing between probably right back and left back. Then you need some backups as well. I don't know who's going to stay out of Eric Garcia, Iñigo, Mikayil. Lenglet is definitely in the bid. I don't think Lenglet will be included in this deal. I think if Sociedad do want a center back, they will take one of Eric Garcia, Iñigo, or Mikayil. And for me, I'm happy with including any of these 3 because, look, we said we value Eric Garcia at around 15. Iñigo is basically free, so you include him in this deal to make it cheaper. Absolute win. Mikayil around 15 as well, so you can make this transfer fix. You can basically just offer a center back plus some add-ons for Mikel Merino, and that would be a sensational and deco masterclass, may I add, for this deal. Only thing I would say is that if you do include Mikayil in this operation, please try to chuck in a sell-on clause, buyback option, something like that. Out of these 3, who would I give? I think the best option would be to give Iñigo Martínez because, again, he has little to no future at Barcelona where Mikayil does. Again, there's a lot of, I'm hearing a lot of murmurs from my sources that Mikayil is really, really impressing in training, and also not only impressing in training, but the Barcelona board and sporting sector do see him right now as an option to stay in the first team ahead of Iñigo Martínez. So wait and see how that develops. But again, including any of these center backs, even if it's Lenglet, absolute W to make this deal cheaper. Now, quickly on Eric Garcia, there is an update coming in from Mikel, of course, the Girona coach, where he was on loan last season. He was asked about possible new signings. He said, look, on signings, I don't know what will happen with Eric Garcia, but it is certain that we need the players in this position. I have confidence in the club, and we have to take a step forward. So again, still showing that interest in keeping Eric Garcia long-term in the other side of Catalonia, and we'll wait and see how that develops. Again, the club right now are fairly confident in the fact that they do want to keep 2 of these 4 center backs next season. They, of course, have some coverage in that department until Adho comes back in the second half of the season. Then maybe in January, they could end up leaving if, of course, they're not happy with their game time. That, of course, will be a problem for then. So out of these 4, Lenglet, Eric, Iñigo, Mikel, I think 2 of them will stay, and the other 2 you can chuck in these operations and again make them cheaper. And again, it has to come down, of course, to Real Sociedad being interested in that player. But overall, for me, this would be fantastic. We can include a player in, and if not, I still would go out and pay the 25 million plus variables for Mikel Merino. I think he's definitely worth that price, and I would say it's fairly cheap for Barcelona to afford as well. So we'll see how things turn out. Again, this is going to be the priority as we sign a left winger, but again, the club are already thinking about making that midfield reinforcement, which our current midfield desperately needs. Now, a transfer that has gone quiet over the past few weeks but has just re-emerged out of nowhere like an RKO is Jeremie Frimpong. Now, Gerard Romero, who has been on fire over the past 48 hours, getting basically everything right at this point. He may be coming back to 2022, Gerard Romero, but he's come out saying that Frimpong's agents are in constant contact with Barcelona. It is not a priority for the club right now, but other operations must be performed first for the club to even consider a move like this. And I could not agree more. Look, I would firstly, and again, try to keep Cancelo. If you can't keep Cancelo, then sure, you want to go out for Frimpong, that's fine. But I think 40 million for him. If we have room, if we, of course, bring in the left winger, bring in a midfielder, done some sales, you have some money left, you don't have a right back, sure, why not? Crack on. I still don't think he's really a right back per se, unless Flick wants to try something different and have the wing backs are really out wide and have that, right center back, again, like Koundé, tuck inside more to make kind of a back 3. If he wants to run it like that, then sure, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not really sold too much on Frimpong being a natural right back for a 4-2-3-1 system. However, we know that Hansi Flick is a big fan of the player. Again, these reports, remember we talked about from Mundo Deportivo 2 weeks ago, how the club hate these false rumors, but now they're picking more up from more reliable areas. Maybe this is not false after all. So we'll wait and see. Again, he has a 40 million euro release clause at Bayer Leverkusen. They will not negotiate anything else. So it kind of sucks that we're kind of interested in all these players with release clauses, because you have to either pay that or you don't get the player at all. There's no negotiation whatsoever. So we'll wait and see. With Frimpong, I wouldn't say right now is too keen, too strong, but I think it mainly comes down to the future of Cancelo. We're hearing that right now that Cancelo, by the way, could be joining Man City for their preseason, because again, there's no talks, no agreement between Man City and Barcelona for his transfer. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I think the club do definitely prefer to keep Cancelo, again, for half the price. You still get a good quality fullback and play on both sides, right wing back or right back, left wing back or left back. You get that for maybe 2 years as well with his age. I think it's a perfect operation for the club. So we'll see what happens with Jeremie Frimpong. Again, he's still interested in the move, clearly. His agent still talks with Barcelona. I think Barcelona are still interested as well. But again, definitely not the priority as things currently stand. Now, along with first team signings, there's going to be some signings as well this summer for Barça Atletic. And of course, those signings you have to keep a watch out for and how they can potentially integrate and help the first team. Now, Gabriel Sanz of Deportivo came out saying that Rafa Marquez has requested the club for at least 5 or 6 new signings for Barça Athletic, 1 or 2 central defenders, 1 midfielder, 2 wingers, and 1 center forward. Now, of course, with Barça B, this makes sense because they've, of course, lost a lot of players from loans and stuff like that. The center forward, they're probably looking at Pau Victor. For 1 of the 2 center backs, they probably want Mid-Backe to come back as well. Mamadou Fali, midfielder, 2 wingers can be other names as well. The only way I'll bring up Barça B signings is if Barcelona spends some actual money on them. I've kept that very consistent on the channel. If it's just a loan move, let them join and we'll see how things turn out. But if we do spend some actual money, that's where, my eyebrows lift up and we get curious. Of course, last summer we spent money, we spent about 10 million on Noah Darvik and Mikel Faye for Barça, really Barça B signings, but apart from the first team. Of course, Mikel Faye was kind of jumping between Juvenile A and the cadet side, and even Barça Athletic for a little bit. But again, if those prices come in for Barcelona to spend actual money on these signings, of course, it's going to be a huge investment on that side, especially when the first team right now needs some cash. So keep your eyes on those Barça B signings that could be coming in over the next few weeks. Any ones for money-wise, I will inform you in the videos to come. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around Barcelona. We do have a big update, and that's on the 2 very young, talented Fernandez cousins in Toni and Gilly. All over the past few videos, I've been telling you guys about Toni Fernandez, how he's very close to renewing his contract, and then, of course, most likely will be on that plane to America for preseason. And the club have announced he has renewed his contract. We don't know the details, the length of the years, salary, and, promises. That'll probably leak over the next few days in the media. All the club have announced that, look, that Toni Fernandez signed a new deal. He's now committed to growing in La Masia and trusts the project of Barcelona. That's all we know. So shout out to Toni. He has renewed his deal. Again, that probably means he'll be on the plane to America if, of course, there is room for him. And again, a very, very important renewal for Barcelona, as a lot of clubs were very interested in him. And again, he is a top talent. Now, of course, his cousin is the one that's really highly rated in Gilly Fernandez, and we are hearing that later on today, the club plans to announce the renewal of Gilly Fernandez. This is absolutely huge. Of course, we've been hearing over the past few weeks that the agreement is closed. There's advanced negotiation. We never had any reports about it being a done deal whatsoever until now. So today's going to be a big day, a lot of big announcements to come, and one of them will be, of course, the renewal of Gilly Fernandez. And excellent work from everyone involved for these two, for the renewals of the 2 Fernandez cousins. They're very talented players. They have high ceilings. Now down to Barcelona themselves to kind of agree with them, and of course keep their end of the promise in growing them. Let's discuss some of the news starting Barcelona over the past 24 hours. Some big breaking news and official news, and that is the club have finally announced that Thiago Alcantara has joined Hansi Flick's coaching staff. Of course, we already knew this now for the past few days. In the official statement, the club have said that Thiago Alcantara will spend the coming weeks as part of Hansi Flick's staff in order to train as a coach. He is expected to remain with the first team for the entire summer and therefore will be on the US tour. You're telling me he's only staying for 2 months? I don't know about that. Look, I think the incorporation of the incorporation of Thiago Alcantara is nothing short of a masterclass from everyone involved. It was Hansi Flick who brought it in, the club finalizing the deal. Absolutely fantastic, him having being, a liaison for the connection, for, the language as well, barrier between the coaching staff and the players. Exceptional appointment. But for 2 months only? I mean, it seems a bit wasteful. We'll wait and see. I still have a feeling that he will stay on for the entire first season unless Thiago himself kind of sees his work being done and doesn't want to continue on. I think the bare minimum, he'll stay until January, I see. But then January gets heated up. We have a lot of games, so will he actually just dip mid-season? I'm not quite too sure. Again, the length, I would say, if Thiago's tenure as a coach, part of the coaching staff of Hansi Flick is definitely in question. But nonetheless, he's here for at least the summer. He'll be on the tour to America, so you're going to be in the U.S. watching the Barca games. You'll see Thiago there in the dugout sitting beside Hansi Flick and the rest of the coaching staff. But again, excellent appointment by everyone involved. Now, speaking of training, we do have one quick report to mention about someone who is impressing in training, alongside, of course, the reports about Ansu and Gavi and Mikel Merino over the past few days, and that is Noah Darvik. Gabriel Sanz of Deportivo came out saying that Hansi Flick has had good feelings regarding Noah Darvik from the club. They say that he is adapting well to the coach training and methods. He also has a chance of going for the preseason tour in America. Flick could use Darvik as an interior, the position that is best adapted to him. He also has improved a lot physically over the last year. Darvik has also become familiar with the environment. Barcelona have always given him confidence despite there being some moments of doubts. Of course, last season he was kind of in and out of Barcelona with the under-17 World Cup it was, and he had to go out on international duty again, so it's kind of been in and out. But again, the activity for him has been very good, and with Hansi coming in, there is a lot of good expectations from our side. Very similar to when Ronald Koeman came in, we had the high expectations for Frankie de Jong. Same thing here with Noah Darvik and Hansi Flick. I'm not expecting Noah Darvik to be a starter next season and balling out 10 goals and assists, but I'm expecting him to be a little bit more involved than he was last season. A couple of call-ups. We'll see maybe hopefully in the Copa del Rey first round if we do have some moments there for him. So we'll wait and see on that, but keep your eyes on him on preseason. I think he is very much going to be on that tour. I think it would be crazy to keep him out, especially with the improvement and also the lack of numbers in the midfield, for the midfield specifically in preseason. But Noah Darvik impressing a lot in training, and we'll wait and see how his development goes. Of course, it's going to be an exponential player, and hopefully it will be that at Barcelona, and hopefully Thiago can help with that as well. Again, Thiago speaks German, so you never know, he can maybe give his advice on the world of Barcelona. But again, I cannot get over how good of an appointment this is, just that hopefully the execution and productivity on the training pitch. Now, the craziest news over the past 24 hours has been in regards to the kit this upcoming season. By the way, today is July the 18th. The home kit will be announced. Probably will be announced before I upload this video, because I upload it about morning time for me, and they usually announce the kit morning time in Barcelona, so probably a few hours later you'll see this video. But I've got to bring it up because I think this is absolutely bonkers. Now, Gigentes, the, of course, media outlet of John Demero, when he first released this, everyone had some doubts, but now it's been confirmed by everyone else, so he's got this absolutely spot on. He came out saying that for the first few months of the season, fans will not be able to buy the Barca jersey with only the logo, and the players are set to wear. Only the version with the full Spotify logo will be sold initially. He also said that there will be two versions of the Barca kit next season. The player version will only feature the Spotify logo without the text, and the fan version will have the regular Spotify logo. What? I am baffled by this. Not because I care, but I'm just saying, it looks like shite. Look at that Spotify logo. Then the badges in the middle is what throws this kit off beyond belief. Also, by the way, on the emblem, the 125th anniversary of the emblem for the club, that's not going to be on the kit until we hit November. So for the first 2 months or 3 months of the season, the kit's going to look like this. And why are you making two different versions? I really don't get it. I think of course, the one on the right hand side, the fan version, looks perfect, looks beautiful. The player version, which we'll see the players play in week out, looks like shite. Looks like absolute shite. And I am not a fan of it whatsoever. I think it looks absolutely hideous. But when it comes down to, the two Clásicos at home, we're going to have that, artists come in and replace the logo. It might look nice depending on who the artist will be. But I think the actual logo itself looks horrendous. And I think this drops this kit from like a 9 out of 10 to like a 6 out of 10. I think it looks that bad. But I don't know why the club have done this. Trying to get more money out of the fans. I have no idea. Maybe to, have some discrepancy between the fan version and the home version. Player version, should I say. I have no idea. But that's going to be the kit. They're going to announce it, by the way, today, with the one on the left-hand side. So the one that we've been seeing on the right-hand side for months and months and months and months, that won't even be in the official presentation today. It's going to be the one on the left, the player version. I think the reason why is because, of course, the font size for the fan version is not quite ready yet. Maybe this is why the club have done so, because they can't really promote it. And again, it's been so long. This is probably one of the latest kit releases I've ever seen as a Barcelona fan. So I don't know. I think it's really weird. I'm still gonna be buying. I'm probably gonna end up buying both now. The bloody twats. They probably just cost me a freaking 140 bucks. Freaking bastards. Anyways, we'll wait and see on that. We'll see how it looks. Again, the kit wise, beautiful logo. Sponsorship needs some fixing up. But we do have some news in regards to the kit for next season. We have some number changes. Of course, Lamine Yamal and Paco Barça were registered as official first team members last week, and we got word that Lamine Yamal has chosen to wear the number 19, which means a lot of things. Now, by the way, the club have officially announced this yesterday as well, that he will be wearing number 19 next season, which is kind of disrespectful to Paco Barça. Why do he have no number official? We're just showing favoritism now. Where's his, number announcement? Anyways, of course, his number 19 was what he played in Spain during the Euros. I was really keen on Lamine Yamal taking 17 or 14, but with Lamine Yamal picking 19 and getting 19 as well, three big things. Number one, who was number 19 originally? Victor Roque now has no number. What does that tell you? The club don't fancy him. They want to maybe change his number. They want to give Lamine Yamal priority on whatever number he picks, and they just give Victor Roque a random number. I think this looks like one foot out the door for Victor Roque. Just snatching his number from him out of nowhere without telling him, without notifying him. Big question mark. Secondly, I wanted, of course, Lamine Yamal to get 17. A lot of people want him to get 17 as well. 17 is kind of a good number for a forward that's, young and stuff like that. But I think he's left number 17. For who? Nico Williams, baby. Ooh. So I think Nico Williams now is going to get 17, which leaves, 14 as the final forward number per se, which will probably either go to Victor Roque or no one else, depending on Victor Roque's future. Thirdly, he ain't getting number 10. And what does that mean? Ansu Fati remontada, vamos carajo. So if Lamine Yamal is not getting 10, that means either Ansu Fati is going to be number 10 next season at Barcelona, or ain't no one wearing number 10 next season. I doubt they'll give it to a Gundogan or Fermin Lopez. I don't know, because Fermin Lopez I think is 16, so maybe he want to get a number upgrade. I don't know, but there's no way they give number 10 to anyone else now, apart from Ansu Fati if he's not going to be there. So that's big as well. That probably puts Ansu Fati 1 foot in the door of staying at Barcelona. So Victor Roque 1 foot out, Ansu Fati 1 foot in, and then number 17 kept and reserved for Nico Williams by the looks of things. So that's the big news around the kit. Lamine Yamal taking 19. Again, this is official, confirmed. The club already announced it. A very shite announcement. May I add, our media team is so shite. And finally, two versions of the home kit will be released next season, or should I say today. A home version, where the player version, you could say, that the players will wear, that will have just a Spotify logo, club badge, Nike emblem in November, and then of course the fan version, which will have the full Spotify, club badge, emblem, Nike logo. Now, on the topic of Lamine Yamal, we also got some word yesterday in regards to when he will return to Barcelona following, of course, his Euro triumph. Tony Juan Martí came out saying that after analyzing the situation in detail, Barcelona have decided that it's best for Lamine Yamal and the rest of the Spanish Euro finalists not to travel to the American tour for preseason. The club prioritizes the physical and mental rest of the players after a very long season, which means that Pedri, Fermin Lopez, Ferran Torres, and Lamine Yamal all will not be on the flight to America. They will not be taking part in the American tour whatsoever, and they will return to Barcelona first team training and medical checkups after the American tour ends. Now, in terms of publicity and stuff like that, it could be a big blow for Lamine Yamal's point of view. Fermin Lopez, of course, makes sense. He's going to be in the Olympics in a few days' time. Pedri, of course, was injured, so he wasn't going anyways. Ferran Torres is an interesting one. Now, I get it. He's been training with Spain. He's been, keeping a high level and intensity and stuff, always being ready for games. But he played about what? I think he played the full game against Albania, and then came out to sub a couple times. So really, theoretically speaking, I think he should be able to at least meet up halfway for the American tour, but I guess keep it all even with all the Spanish players. And I get it, when you're training and stuff week in, week out, it does, of course, take a toll on your body, so you will need a break, but it is what it is. Now, in regards to other players and when they'll be returning to first team training, we have an update from Javi Miguel from AES saying that Robert Lewandowski and Andreas Christensen are scheduled for medical checkups on Monday, July 22nd. Ter Stegen, Koundé, and Gundogan are also expected to rejoin the team on that same week. What does that mean? That means that Ter Stegen, Gundogan, Christensen, Lewandowski will all be on the flight to America. So Monday, Lewandowski and Christensen, probably somewhere towards the end of the week, I would say Thursday or Friday, you'll see Ter Stegen, Koundé, and Gundogan return. Of course, that is absolutely big. It's unknown if Rafinha will return to Barcelona or go directly to Orlando from Brazil to avoid a long flight and tiring travel time, which again makes sense because he'll have to come from Brazil to Barcelona to Orlando, where he can just go to Orlando. That does make a bit more sense. He can do his medical checkups there, of course. That, of course, makes sense. So Rafinha, Gundo, Koundé, Ter Stegen, Christensen, Lua will all be part of the American tour. They will all take part in it, and they will be there from the beginning until the end. They may not play the first game because they have to get back to match fitness and stuff like that, but they'll definitely be fit for the Clásico. Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres will be on vacation until August the 8th, meaning they will miss the entire tour. Pedri, of course, Araujo, of course, will miss it because they're injured. Eric Garcia, Fermin Lopez, and Pau Cubarsí will, of course, be at the Olympics. Frankie de Jong, Alejandro Balde, and Pablo Torre are all expected to be part of the tour. This is huge, not only for Balde, which we kind of already knew, but for Pablo Torre, and they have reports coming out about his injury as well, saying that look, the injury is not too serious. He should be on that flight, no problem, but maybe be out for about a week or two from training. You can see the details here from the sport. So again, as we anticipated in yesterday's video. But Frankie de Jong being there is absolutely huge. And it does mean in the end that Ben Aid, when he said that he was going to be out for about another month, he was incorrect. So hopefully Frankie de Jong, you have Frankie de Jong, Rafinha, Koundé, Gundo, Ter Stegen, Christensen, Lewandowski in America for the full tour. That is absolutely huge, not only for publicity, but of course getting up to fitness, getting understanding the system and style of Hansi Flick, of course playing in the Clasico as well. That will be, of course, I think at the beginning of August, if I'm not mistaken. So that's all very, very important and massive boost for Barcelona in preseason. So we're going to have the majority of the first team players back. Everyone probably will be there, except of course for these Spanish players. And this also includes, again, Nico Williams. If we do end up signing him, he'll not be on the American tour whatsoever. He'll probably join August the 8th. Of course, we sign him before then, alongside Yamal, Ferran Torres. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is in regards to Espai Barca on the planning of the Spotify Camp Nou, and when exactly do the club want to return to action in the stadium. Now, firstly, Designo Lighting have been officially announced as the new lighting and exterior sponsor for the Spotify Camp Nou. They'll be applying all the lighting and stuff for the stadium, and again, it's going to be a great deal going forward. So that's just a little update for you guys. But also, we have the big ones in regards to the actual stadium development. Now, Relivo have come out saying that work at the Spotify Camp Nou cannot be done on Saturdays from henceforth. This is about the 10th time Saturday has been cancelled. Neighborhood Association agreed with managers of the operation at Barcelona on scheduling for work to continue on Saturdays, but complaints have risen that the workers are exceeding scheduled times. The new schedule now is Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. only. So of course the club originally started working 7 days a week on the stadium. They got a lot of complaints. They reduced that just to Saturday. Then they removed Saturday after complaints. Then they brought it back because they said they need that extra day to develop. And now Saturday has dropped out yet again. So very, very interesting. But again, this reduces the time and it reduces the work a bit more over the course of the week. But despite this, according to Relivo, Barcelona have still set the time frame of December 2024 to January 2025 for the team's return to the Spotify Camp Nou. So I said, and I've said this before, I don't think we'll be in the stadium until 2025, and I also just hope that we're there before the round 16 in the Champions League. That's all I need now, because we're not going to make the anniversary now, so I'm not too bothered by it. Now, on the Champions League, by the way, the club are still in negotiation with the UEFA to allow them to switch stadium, because again, the UEFA have a very, very hard rule that wherever you play your first match at home in the Champions League, you have to play all your home games there. Of course, Spotify Camp Nou, -1 billion% chance it'll be ready for September when the Champions League does kick off. So we're going to have to play group stages at the Montjuic guarantee. But the club then want to switch to the Camp Nou. And now, of course, down to UEFA to agree for Barcelona to dodge that rule essentially. So we'll still see on that. We could be back to the Camp Nou come Champions League, but still have to play the Montjuic. So keep your eyes on that. Hopefully the club do reach an agreement for that. But we do have a timeline now of when Barcelona expect to complete the Espai Barca project. There was a press conference the other day with Elena Fort leading it on how and what the plan is for Barcelona in terms of course, the completion of the Spotify Camp Nou. And they have it set right now for June of 2026 to complete this deal. Not deal, but operation per se. Again, I hope the club do make it there. Based on what I've seen, I think they can definitely get there, but they want to get there by the halfway mark of 2026. And of course, they also have the ideas for the Palau Blaugrana as well. Right now, the project is under development. Then the construction will start happening at the end of 2025. So that's, of course, the basketball stadium. Then, of course, they do the whole entire, sports city as well. That will start, of course, construction-wise, I would say around 2025 as well. Probably some stuff that's already been, beginning as things currently stand. But again, the time frame for Spotify Camp Nou's construction, technically speaking, we're almost at the halfway mark, which is quite crazy to think about. I feel like they just started yesterday. But, yeah, we'll see. Of course, it's been now a whole season at Camp Nou, but, it's gone like that from my perspective anyways. But anyways, halfway mark for the Espai Barca project, so hopefully the stadium will be, completed on time, along with the other projects such as the Sports City, and of course the new Palau Blaugrana. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 24 hours. So if you guys enjoyed this video, if you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing, of course, I want to know is on Nico Williams. Are you excited? Are you gassed? You think there's absolutely no chance the deal flops? And your thoughts on him taking the number 17, which of course Yamal has intentionally left for him. Second, your thoughts on Mikel Merino. You think this transfer will end up happening or not? You think Barcelona will sign a midfielder? And what are your thoughts on Barcelona including a center back in this operation to make it cheaper? Thirdly, and my most curious question, is around Jeremie Frimpong. Firstly, would you take him on Barcelona? I think he's good enough. I think he's a good right back to fill that kind of quality. Would you prefer Cancelo? Would you go out and spend 40 million on Jeremie Frimpong as well? And find your thoughts on the new home kit design. Are you as questionable as I am, or do you not really care? Because you probably don't. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.